fact checking. And I am going to fact check Paul Joseph Watson today, because we need more fact checking. The BBC does a great job of it, but I think it needs help. Now, am I qualified to be a fact checker? Well, I was a maths teacher, I've got a degree in economics. So yeah, let's just take a look at this tweet. I think I am probably more qualified, there goes my dog again, than most fact checkers on the BBC, because they are journalists, and I am not. Here, I'm an opinionist. Let me take a look at this Paul Joseph Watson tweet. Here it is. Under lockdown, corona deaths today, 595 in the UK. Sweden, no lockdown, corona deaths, 10. Population of the UK is roughly 6 times larger. Okay, that's about right. So that means 6 times 10 is 60. So that means there's 10 times more deaths at the moment, or yesterday actually, in UK than there is Sweden. So let's just check. Let's take a look at different sources. First, Paul, I don't know what you're suggesting. Are you suggesting that somehow no lockdown is better than lockdown to stop coronavirus? How dare you? Anyway, here is the WHO, the World Health Organization, Sweden, and the coronaviruses. It says 6,000 deaths. Okay. This is the days you were talking about. The 9th, the 10th, okay, the 11th of December. Well, that's strange. It says 0 deaths there, Paul. 2 deaths on the 10th. 2 deaths on the 9th. So, Paul, actually, I'm going to fact check you and say you were wrong, Paul. According to the WHO, there was actually 0 deaths yesterday and 2 deaths the day before. So, yeah, not exact. But let's try the WHO with the UK. Yesterday, there was, according to the WHO, there we go, 532 deaths. And actually the difference is much greater than you said. Much, much greater. But perhaps the WHO can't be trusted. So let's go to those death porno people at the Johns Hopkins Institute. And let's take a look at this map here, which shows us, this is Sweden. Let's just take a look at Sweden and see how many people died of coronavirus yesterday. Sure, they got it higher. So they've got, as yesterday, the 11th, as 25 people. So the WHO and Johns Hopkins do not coincide. Okay, so it's 25 according to those. They say 25. And the day before, well, let's just take yesterday, as you said, the 11th. And the UK, here is the United Kingdom. Let's take a look at their... I have to press that button in the corner there, which is quite a... Let's take a look at this. And they say in Britain yesterday, 596, slightly more. But still, even if you say it's 10 times the population, 10 times 25 is 250, it is still less than half the deaths from coronavirus in Britain under lockdown than it is in Sweden without lockdown. But I've looked at another country as well, because I thought, let's take a look at Spain. It's had a massive lockdown and mandatory masks for a long time and see how they're getting on. This is Spain, I believe. Yes, let's take a look at Spain. Deaths, we need daily deaths. Let's put daily deaths on. Daily deaths, strange. Spain statistics are all over the place. You've got this big peak in the middle. You've got this. But let's take yesterday, the 11th. The 11th, 760 people died. That's with a weekend lockdown, with mandatory masks, with mandatory no families together, with bars closed, and yet. But let me show you something that is very interesting. What happened here, I can show you, this is Sweden. Again, this is Sweden. Now you take a look at this. Very steep and going down slowly. This is with no lockdown. Britain went up and down much quicker. By July, deaths were almost down to 0. Whereas in July, in Sweden, they were still up. They were still up and still going down. If you look at June, they were still very high. Much higher than percentage-wise the UK in June. The UK was getting 100 deaths per day out of 60 million. Whereas, in June, Sweden was getting 30 deaths per day, which is times 10 is 300. So it had 3 times the death rate. But they took the hit in the short term, in the slightly longer term there. And what happens? Britain came down, but then it's just pressurising and it comes back up. The same as Spain. They came down very quick. They had a massive tight lockdown, and by the end of May it was zero deaths. Whereas the end of May, Sweden was very high, 60, 70 deaths per day. So coming back to Poole Joseph Watson, not a lie, his suggestion in that tweet, that there's no suggestion, you just give facts, but my suggestion is that lockdowns don't work. Well, I would suggest lockdowns do work in the very short term. It cut the death rate here, boom, right down. Held it down, but then as soon as you release, boom, up it goes again, up it goes again. You cannot control it. I can show you perhaps even better with another site, which perhaps is more important, because this is not just showing COVID deaths, this is showing excess deaths, which is more important. I'm going to show you the excess deaths here. I'm going to just show them in, this is 2020, yeah. This is Spain. You can see the peak, up, down, and by the 18th week, they were below, no, 19th week, they started to go below any excess deaths, and they stayed below it. Whereas in week 18, 19, Sweden still had the excessively high excess deaths that didn't really come down until week 26, 27, and then continued to come down all the way to now, and there's still excess deaths are coming down. So they took the hit in the centre here. And if we look at England, England is on its way. Well, big peak, knocked it out of the park, down straight away. Whereas Sweden has still got lots of excess deaths. However, because they held it down, they start to go back up, whereas Sweden keeps going down. So I think the lesson to be learned is Poole Joseph Watson, fact-checked. Depends where you get your figures wrong, but it's pretty close. So I would say yes, it's pretty true. But the bigger fact to come out of this is lockdowns don't work. Why are we using them? I've just shown you 3 examples to show you why. No, that's not true. They do work, but in the very short term. In the long term, they're not a solution. They boom, stop it instantly, but then it comes back. It's taking, you've got cancer, so you take a paracetamol to stop the pain. It might stop it overnight, but you have to sort the problem out. You have to allow it to go through. There is no other solution apart from allowing people to spread it and youngsters to gain immunity and people to gain immunity. Now, if you like what I do, please like, share and subscribe. Despite what YouTube is doing, these will be on BitChute, and I'm working on a library LBR account, which I will put in all my band videos, but that's going to take a time. We know we are being targeted, so please share, like, share and subscribe and pass around. Despite the fear porn, lockdowns are not the answer. The answer is to fund the NHS, make people aware of what's happening, not scare them, and allow people to go back to work. You be good. Like, share and subscribe. And don't forget that truth is treason in the empire of lie.